I didn't plan to be alone that night. That's the part people always misunderstand. I had already laid out my dress, nothing flashy, just something neat, something that said, "I'm still here." The clock on the kitchen wall ticked steadily, every second loud in a house that had once been full of noise. My daughter called at 4:17 p.m. That number is burned into my memory. "Mom," she said gently, too gently, "we were talking, and we think it might be better if you stayed home tonight." I didn't answer right away. "Better for who?" I finally asked. She sighed. I could hear her smile through the phone. "You've been tired lately," she said, "and it's going to be loud, a lot of people, New Year's energy." Energy. That was the word she chose instead of "you don't fit anymore." "I feel fine," I said. "I know you think that," she replied quickly, "but we don't want you to overdo it." We. My son was there too, listening, agreeing. "So you decided," I said. "Well," she hesitated, "we thought it would be easier." Easier. Another word that erases people quietly. I looked around my living room, the framed photos, the couch I bought after my husband died, the clock inching closer to midnight I would now face alone. "I understand," I said. She relaxed immediately. "Thank you for being so understanding, Mum. We'll call you after midnight." After. When the call ended, the silence felt physical, heavy. I sat down slowly and stared at my phone. No invitation, no compromise, no question, just a decision made for me. I turned on the television. Every channel showed parties, countdowns, families clinking glasses. New year, new beginnings. I laughed once, soft, bitter. At 8 p.m, a text arrived. From my son, "Love you, get some rest, big night here." I didn't reply. At 10:30, fireworks started early somewhere down the street. I poured myself a glass of water and sat at the table, hands folded, posture straight, out of habit. For decades, I had hosted New Year's dinners, cooked, cleaned, paid, smiled. Now I was not in the right condition. At 11:58 p.m, my phone buzzed again, a video. They were already counting down. My grandchildren's voices shouted numbers into the camera. I wasn't in the frame. I watched the screen until it went dark. Midnight passed without me. That was when I understood something clearly for the first time. This wasn't about my health, or my energy, or my comfort. This was about convenience. They had moved on emotionally, and they expected me to accept it quietly. I didn't cry. I stood up, walked to my desk, and opened a drawer I hadn't touched in years. Inside were documents, accounts, policies, records. Proof of a lifetime of responsibility. "I'm not in the right condition for celebration," I said aloud to the empty room, "but I'm perfectly capable of making decisions." Outside, fireworks exploded in colour. Inside, something settled into place. They thought leaving me alone on New Year's Eve was harmless. They thought I'd forgive it by morning. They were wrong. Because when someone decides you don't belong in their future, the first thing you do is decide what you'll leave behind. I woke up on January 1st to silence. No headache, no regret. Just a clarity that felt almost impolite. My phone lay face down on the nightstand. I didn't reach for it immediately. For the first time in years, I let the day arrive without checking who needed me. At 8:12 a.m, a message came through. "Happy New Year, Mum. Hope you slept well. Last night was wild." I stared at the screen. Wild. While I counted seconds alone. Another text followed, this time from my daughter. "We'll come by later this week. You okay?" You okay? Not "I'm sorry," not "we missed you." Just a check mark for responsibility. I replied with a single word. Fine. Nothing unsettles people like brevity when they expect reassurance. I made myself breakfast, toast, coffee, a boiled egg. Simple. I cleaned the kitchen slowly, deliberately, the way I used to after hosting parties. Only now there was no mess left by others. Around noon, my neighbour waved from across the street. "Happy New Year," she called. "Big night with the kids." I smiled. Quiet, I said. She nodded, approving. At our age, that's best. At our age. Everyone agreed, apparently. That afternoon, I drove to the bank. I hadn't planned to, but plans change when something shifts inside you. The young man at the counter smiled professionally. How can I help you today, Mom? I slid my ID across. I'd like to review my accounts, I said, all of them. We sat for almost an hour. He explained. I listened. I asked questions he didn't expect someone my age to ask. Limits, access, beneficiaries. He blinked once when I asked about changing things. Of course, he said. That's entirely up to you. Entirely. The word felt good. I drove home feeling lighter than I had in years. Not angry, focused. That evening, my son called. Hey, Mum, he said, just checking in. Thank you, I replied. I've been busy. There was a pause. Busy? He asked. Yes, I said, with my own affairs. Another pause. Everything okay? He tried again. Yes, I said. Very. I hung up and went to my desk. I took out a notebook. On the first page, I wrote what they assume versus what I decide. Under assumptions, I wrote, I will always be available. I won't make changes. I'll understand. I won't react under decisions. I left the page blank, for now, because revenge doesn't start with punishment. It starts with withdrawal. They thought excluding me from New Year's Eve was about one night. They didn't realize it was about the rest of my life. Outside, the neighborhood was quiet again. The new year had officially begun, and I was no longer living it on anyone else's terms. Comfort returned quickly. That surprised me. Within a week, my family behaved as if New Year's Eve had gone exactly as planned and ended exactly as it should have. No awkward apologies, no follow-up conversations, no mention of the video they sent me before midnight. Silence, neatly folded away. My daughter stopped by on Thursday. She brought soup, a peace offering disguised as care. You look good, she said, scanning my face. Rest did you well. Rest, as if loneliness were a spa treatment. I've been productive, I replied. She smiled, relieved. Good. We were worried you might take it the wrong way. The wrong way, meaning personally. My son came the following weekend. He fixed a loose hinge on the door. Small competence, visible usefulness. People like to remind you they still do things for you, just enough to balance what they've taken. Next year will be different, he said casually while putting his tools away. We'll do something low-key. Next year, the word that has excused more neglect than any apology ever could. I nodded. That sounds nice, I said. He relaxed. They grew comfortable again. Invitations resumed, but optional ones. Stop by if you feel like it. No pressure, only if you're up for it. Always framed as kindness, always keeping control. I played my part. I showed up occasionally. I smiled. I left early. I didn't complain. I didn't explain. Meanwhile, I made changes. Quiet ones. I cancelled the automatic transfers I'd set up years ago. Phone bills. Streaming services. Little expenses that added up to expectation. I didn't announce it. I waited. I met with my lawyer, not urgently, carefully. We discussed contingencies. Who could act on my behalf? Who could not? She raised an eyebrow when I named my choices. Are you certain? She asked. Yes, I said. I've never been clearer. I spent more time outside the family orbit, volunteering, meeting friends for coffee, joining a book club I'd postponed for years, people who didn't see me as fragile or background noise. One afternoon, my daughter called. Mum, she said lightly, did you change something with the kids' phone plan? Yes, I replied. Oh, she said, it didn't go through. I know, I said. A pause. Well, can you switch it back? No, I said gently. I've reorganized my finances. Reorganized? Such a neutral word for such a sharp boundary. She laughed awkwardly. Okay, we'll figure it out. She meant, This is new. They didn't confront me, not yet. They were still adjusting, assuming this was temporary, a mood, a phase. They believed things would settle back where they belonged, with them in front, me behind. They didn't know I had already moved on, not away from them, away from the version of myself that absorbed disappointment quietly. That night, I added to my notebook. Under decisions, I wrote, I will not celebrate where I'm tolerated. I will not fund what excludes me. I will not apologize for self-respect. I closed the notebook and placed it back in the drawer. Because the mistake people make after excluding you once is assuming you'll come back unchanged. They noticed the absence before they understood it. That's always how it happens. It started small. My son called one afternoon, irritated. Mum, did you change something with the insurance paperwork? The agent says I'm no longer listed. I held the phone a little farther from my ear. Yes, I said. I updated my records. There was a pause. Why? He asked. Because they were outdated, I replied. He laughed, uneasy. You should have told me, I smiled. I didn't think it was urgent. Urgent? That word had only ever worked in one direction. My daughter followed a few days later. She showed up unannounced, keys in hand like she still had permission. The lock didn't turn. She knocked instead, harder than necessary. You changed the locks? She asked, half joking, half offended. Yes, I said calmly. It was time. For what? She pressed. For privacy. That answer landed heavier than I expected. She stepped inside, scanning the room. Something was different, not visible. Felt. You've been distant, she said finally. No, I replied. I've been independent. She frowned. Is this still about New Year's? I looked at her. No, I said. This is about everything New Year's showed me. They still didn't understand. They thought this was an emotional response, a phase. People underestimate elderly women because they confuse patience with passivity. The real consequence arrived a week later. A letter. Certified. Neutral. Professional. It informed them that certain financial responsibilities they had relied on were no longer covered. Tuition assistance, travel expenses, emergency buffers, nothing dramatic, just accurate. My son called first, angry now. You can't just pull support like this, he said. We depend on it. Depend. There it was. I was told I wasn't in the right condition to celebrate, I replied. I assumed that meant I shouldn't be responsible either. Silence. My daughter tried a softer approach. She cried. Real tears. We didn't mean to hurt you, she said. We just thought it was better. Better. Always better. I believe you, I said, but belief doesn't undo impact, she whispered. So what are you doing? I answered honestly. I'm matching my presence to how I'm valued. That frightened them, not because they were cruel, because they had never considered the possibility that I would stop. That night, I slept well, not out of satisfaction, out of alignment. Because when people decide you're not in the right condition to celebrate, they rarely consider whether they're in the right condition to keep benefiting from you. They didn't start with anger. They started with memory. My daughter brought photo albums the next time she visited, heavy ones. She placed them on the table between us like evidence. Remember this? She asked, opening to a page where we were all smiling at a long-ago New Year's dinner. I nodded. I do. She flipped pages quickly. See, she said, we've always been close. Always. People love that word when the present is uncomfortable. My son followed with gratitude, carefully measured. You've done so much for us, he said over the phone. We wouldn't be where we are without you. That's true, I replied. He paused. Then why are you doing this? He asked. Because recognition isn't the same as respect. I didn't say that, not yet. They tried obligation next, family dinners scheduled without asking, plans mentioned after they were set, assumptions wrapped in warmth. We'll pick you up at 7, my daughter said one afternoon. No, I replied. I already have plans. With who? She asked, surprised. Myself, I said. That unsettled her. People grow nervous when you stop being predictable. Then came guilt. My daughter's voice trembled. The kids miss you. I miss them too, I said. So come, she pressed. Don't make this harder. Harder, as if I were the one who moved the goalposts. I'll come when I'm invited, I replied, and when I'm wanted, not managed. She went quiet. My son tried authority. He suggested doctors, assessments, concern. You've been different, he said carefully. Maybe we should talk to someone. I smiled. I already have, I said. A lawyer? That ended the conversation. Behind their tactics was a simple fear. Not of losing me, of losing access. They were used to my availability being unconditional, my resources, my time, my emotional labor. Now everything required consent. One evening, my daughter asked the question they'd been avoiding. What do you want from us? She asked. I answered without hesitation. I want to be included by choice, I said, or left out without consequences for me. She frowned. That's not how families work. I met her eyes. It is now, I replied. They left frustrated. Not because they didn't love me, because love wasn't enough to restore the old arrangement. That night, I added another line to my notebook. Guilt is not a substitute for invitation, I underlined it. Because the hardest thing for people who are used to leaning on you is learning how to stand when you step aside. Escalation never looks dramatic at first. It looks like concern. My daughter stopped calling me directly. Instead, my phone filled with unfamiliar names. An aunt I hadn't spoken to in years. A cousin who never remembered my birthday. A family friend who suddenly just wanted to check in. They all said the same things. We're worried about you. Your kids are trying so hard. Family is everything, especially at your age. At your age. Always that phrase. I listened politely. I thanked them. I didn't explain. People who arrive late to the story rarely want the truth. They want reassurance that the version they were told is correct. Then came the professionals. A doctor's office called to confirm an appointment. I didn't make one, I said. There was a pause. Oh, the receptionist said, your son scheduled a consultation. I cancelled it. A week later, a social worker left a voicemail. Just a routine wellness check, she said brightly. Routine, another word people use when control needs a friendly face. I returned the call. Yes, I said. I'm aware of the concern. No, I'm not interested. Yes, I'm competent. She hesitated. I'll need to document that, she said. Please do, I replied. Documentation works both ways. My son arrived that evening tense. They're asking questions, he said. This doesn't look good. For whom? I asked. He didn't answer. They're saying you're isolating, he tried again, that you're not yourself. I'm more myself than I've been in years, I said. He shook his head. This is getting out of hand. Yes, I agreed, because you took it there. My daughter followed the next day, angry now. You're making us look cruel, she said. People are talking. I looked at her calmly. You left me alone on New Year's Eve, I said. I didn't post about it. I didn't call anyone. I didn't embarrass you. She opened her mouth. And yet, I continued, the truth still found its way out. She sat down hard. We were just trying to protect you, she said. I nodded. From celebration. Silence. That night, I made a decision. If they were willing to involve outsiders to regain control, I would stop protecting their image, not publicly, accurately. I requested copies, medical notes, contact records, statements made on my behalf, everything. I organized them neatly in a folder, labeled, dated, ready. Because there is a moment in every conflict when you stop trying to be understood and start making sure you can't be misrepresented. They thought I would shrink under pressure. They forgot something important. I was raised in a time when women learned to survive without explanation. I didn't confront them, I documented them. I met with my lawyer on a grey Tuesday morning. I brought the folder. She read quietly, page by page, her expression changing only once, when she reached the note about the doctor's appointment scheduled without my consent. "That's a problem," she said. "For whom?" I asked. She looked up. "Not for you." We didn't threaten anyone. We clarified. Letters went out, not angry ones, not dramatic ones, precise ones. They stated my capacity, my decisions, my refusal to have third parties involved without permission. They asked, politely, that any future communication about my health or placement include me directly. Copies were kept. The calls stopped, not immediately, but decisively. The social worker emailed an apology. The clinic updated their records. The phrase "per patient request" appeared more than once. I liked that phrase. My son came over that evening. He didn't knock hard this time. He waited. "This has gone too far," he said when I let him in. "Yes," I replied. "It did, when you stopped trusting my voice." He ran a hand through his hair. "We didn't think—" "I know," I said gently. "You assumed. My daughter didn't come. She sent a message instead. We were trying to help. You're making it legal." I read it twice. Then I replied, "You made it necessary." They began to understand then. Not emotionally, structurally. Invitations changed tone. "No more "we'll pick you up." Now it was, "Would you like to come?" No more "the kids need you." Now it was, "We'd love to see you." Language reveals power shifts faster than apologies. I didn't gloat. I didn't soften. I stayed consistent. One afternoon, my neighbor asked, "Everything all right with the kids?" "Yes," I said honestly. "It's clearer." She smiled. "That's good." It was, because clarity is the opposite of control by assumption. That night, I reviewed my notebook. Most of the list was done. Only one thing remained, the part they still hadn't understood. They thought my revenge was withdrawal. They were wrong. Withdrawal was preparation. I didn't announce it, I scheduled it. On a clear morning in early spring, I drove downtown and parked 2 blocks from the courthouse. Not because I had to, but because I wanted the walk. I wanted to feel my steps. Inside, the office smelled like paper and polish. My lawyer greeted me with a nod. No questions. She already knew why I was there. "Ready?" she asked. "Yes," I said. "I've been ready since January 1st. What I changed wasn't just names, it was direction. I redirected my giving, carefully, intentionally, to places that had welcomed me when my family decided I was not in the right condition to celebrate. The Community Centre, a New Year's Eve meal programme, a small fund that helps seniors stay independent in their own homes. People who saw age as presence, not liability. I also updated my will, not out of anger, out of accuracy. My children weren't removed, they were repositioned, limited, defined, clear. No assumptions, no leverage. Everything spelled out. My lawyer slid the papers across the desk. "Any doubts?" she asked. I shook my head. "Only that I didn't do this sooner." The consequences didn't arrive with a bang, they arrived with confusion. My daughter noticed first, when a donation she'd been used to claiming at tax time was no longer there. She called, flustered. "Mom, the accountant says—" "Yes," I said. "I made changes." "You didn't tell us." "I didn't need to," I replied. "It's mine." My son heard later, from someone else. A friend mentioned seeing my name on a donor wall, a wall he'd never looked at before. "Why didn't you tell us?" he asked, hurt. "I'm not asking for permission anymore," I said. They tried to frame it as misunderstanding. I didn't correct them. Understanding was their work now. What they couldn't grasp was this. I hadn't taken anything from them. I had stopped giving to a version of family that excluded me. That summer, I was busier than I'd been in years, not overwhelmed, engaged. I was invited to events because people wanted me there. I was thanked without obligation. I was asked, not assumed. My children adjusted again, slowly, carefully. They began checking before planning. They started inviting earlier. They learned new language. But some things didn't come back. And I didn't chase them. Because permanence doesn't need drama. It needs consistency. When New Year's Eve approached again, my daughter called. We were thinking, maybe we could all be together this year. I smiled. Where? I asked. She hesitated. At our place. And am I invited? I asked. Yes, she said quickly. Of course. I'll let you know, I replied. That answer changed everything. New Year's Eve came back quietly. No fireworks yet, no countdowns. Just a question hanging in the air. I didn't answer right away. That was new for all of us. For decades, my presence had been automatic, a given, a constant. Now it required a decision, and decisions take time. My daughter called again 2 days before the holiday. Her voice was careful. We're finalizing plans, she said. We just need to know. Need. I noticed she didn't say want. I'm still thinking, I replied. She paused. About what? About how I want to welcome the new year, I said. That night, I laid 2 options on the table. One was familiar, their house, their noise, their timeline, their comfort. The other was smaller, a quiet gathering at the community centre where I'd been volunteering, followed by a late supper with friends who had learned my habits, not inherited them. I tried to imagine each midnight. In one, I was present but peripheral, someone to hug, thank and gently manage. In the other, I was simply myself. The choice surprised me with how easy it became. On the afternoon of December 31st, I sent a message. Thank you for the invitation. I have other plans this year. I hope you have a wonderful night. No explanation, no apology. My phone rang within minutes, my son this time. You're not coming? He asked. No, I said calmly, a beat. Are you upset? He asked. I smiled at the honesty of the question. No, I replied. I'm intentional. There was silence on the line, then quietly, will we see you tomorrow? Yes, I said. I'll stop by in the afternoon. Relief flooded his voice. That too was information. That evening I dressed for myself. Comfortable shoes, a scarf I liked. No pressure to impress or perform. At the community centre, the room was warm with laughter, not loud, not polished, real. We shared food, stories, small resolutions spoken aloud without irony. At midnight, we counted together, uneven, joyful, human. When the clock struck 12, someone hugged me without hesitation. Happy New Year, she said. I'm glad you're here. So was I. Later, walking home under cold stars, I felt something I hadn't expected. Not victory, freedom. My family welcomed the new year without me again, but this time it was my choice, and that changed everything. The new year didn't arrive with apologies, it arrived with adjustment. The next afternoon, I went by my daughter's house as promised. The decorations were still up. Leftovers sat in neat containers. The children ran to hug me like nothing had happened, and in a way, nothing had. In another way, everything had. My daughter watched me carefully, not suspicious, curious. Did you have a good night? She asked. Yes, I said honestly, I did. She nodded slowly, absorbing that. Not offended, not relieved, just aware. My son walked me to the door later. You know, he said, hesitating, we didn't realize how automatic everything had become. I know, I replied, and we didn't realize you could step away. I met his eyes. Neither did you. That was the closest thing to an apology I needed. Life didn't magically fix itself after that. Some habits returned, some didn't. Some invitations stayed careful, some became sincere, and some things never went back to how they were. Good. The revenge everyone expects is loud, public, punishing. Mine wasn't. My revenge was living visibly, choosing where I went, who I celebrated with, what I supported, what I funded, what I gave my time to. I didn't cut my family off. I cut off the version of myself that accepted being sidelined. They learned something that year, that I wasn't fragile, that I wasn't a background figure, that I wasn't an obligation to manage. I was a person who could choose, and I learned something too, that being left alone when it isn't your choice can break you. But choosing solitude, even briefly, can rebuild you in ways nothing else can. I still celebrate New Year's now, sometimes with family, sometimes without, always intentionally. When people ask what changed that year, I don't mention the phone call, or the video, or the fireworks I watched alone. I say something simpler. I stopped waiting to be included. That was my revenge, and it turned out to be the best beginning of my life.